I told you it was happening, and now it is. The Master Chief Collection is headed to the PC and a whole lot more. What's up, everybody? Brad here. And yeah, it's happening. Microsoft is bringing the Master Chief Collection to the PC. It is all now out and open and and official for that matter. And while I did tell you it was coming and I couldn't ever really lock down a date, I think I completely understand why that was so difficult. I said it was coming soon. I didn't know if it was GDC, this event, or E3. But Microsoft, so they announced the platform is coming. But here's the thing, it's actually a rolling out. It's not like they're taking all the games at once and then dropping them to the PC platform. They're actually bringing, for starters, Halo Reach. So they're adding that to the collection, and then they are going to release each game in sequential order of the story. And this kind of makes sense why I could never lock down a date for this kind of stuff, because it's not a single date. It's multiple events over time, and they're probably doing that to help hype it up and other things. And also, when they talked about bringing the game to the PC, they said they didn't want to just make it a port. They actually were saying, like, that's a dirty word, because they did a lot of optimizations that you need. First off, it's keyboard and mouse. You have different resolutions. You have different widescreen variations you got to deal with. So it's not, I mean, it's obviously a port, but it sounds like it's much more than a port, and a lot more effort has gone in. And you can bet that they are going to make this a first class experience because they know what is on the line. Now, the big news out of this was, yes, we knew that it was coming to the Microsoft Store, but it's also coming to Steam. This is actually pretty interesting. I figured they would, lock this thing up in the Microsoft Store and make it that way. But one thing they did not announce, which I have heard is still coming, and we know it's coming because Satya Nadella, Microsoft CEO, said it, is they didn't announce Game Pass for the PC quite yet. Although there's more evidence showing up that this is about ready to launch. That could be an E3 thing. And they also did a bunch of teasers at the end of this event to pay attention for the April Inside event, which might be where they announce the all-digital console. Also announced during the event is this brand new white controller, the translucent Phantom controller, which it actually did leak. Amazon Mexico published it a little bit early, up for pre-order. But I think this looks actually pretty dang good, and I might be picking this one up if I can get my hands on one. It looks good. They also did this in black, if you remember, but this has been announced. It's coming up for pre-orders now from the Microsoft Store, and so you've got that. And then they also did kind of an, I don't know, I was going to say awkward, but they talked about xCloud a little bit more, and they hyped it up saying, hey, we're going to talk more about it, but they didn't really say a whole lot, except there's a couple key phrases you should know about. Primarily being, they explicitly mentioned again, they said, hey, we are not getting out of the console business. I know a lot of people are very concerned about that, but we know the next generation is at least happening, and I can't imagine that they're just going to pull out of this real quick overnight, or at all for that matter. So we've got that going on. I've also been hearing, by the way, that Microsoft is making it a requirement that all games coming up must work natively with xCloud. Because right now they're taking a lot of games that weren't designed for that platform, and they're making sure they work on xCloud, right? They've got this massive back catalog that were created when xCloud wasn't a thing. And they keep saying that there's no difference in experience. I do know personally that there are some optimizations that developers can do for future games that will make things possibly run a little bit better, such as the streaming aspects where, it downloads certain aspects first and all that good stuff. But they did show off a demo, and I really want to point something out about this demo. Something was off when they did this. And I don't know if this was pre-recorded, if they didn't have a great connection or in there, but if you watch it real carefully, it looks like there's a lot of latency between the controller and what's going on in the display. Now, I've already heard from people, because I started tweeting about this, and other people are saying, yeah, something feels off, is that the current theory is that it was either pre-recorded or that this was, again, prototype hardware, which it all is, but I've heard that this is not an actual real world example, that it is better in person. So don't look at that demo with too much scrutiny like I was, because who wouldn't be watching Microsoft showing off their game streaming platform, not in a canned video for the first time. So, wrapping things up here, we got the Master Chief Collection coming to the PC, rolling out. We have the brand new translucent white Phantom controller, and we had a small minor xCloud update. So that is what Microsoft, the big things, there's a couple DayZ is coming next month. They've also talked about a few other things. But for me, those were the personal highlights. So Master Chief Collection on its way. We should hopefully know more soon.